Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into the Packers Total Access pregame show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, as it is officially, finally, took forever to get here, but it is game day. We got the Green Bay Packers going to be kicking off in Denver against those Broncos, those number 1 seed Broncos, or number 2 seed. They're somewhere toward the top, obviously. One of the best records in the game, tied for the best winning percentage, I believe. So this is going to be a dandy. I'm excited to see how these Green Bay Packers match up against an awesome Sean Payton Denver Broncos team. Tim, I know you're fired up for it too. We've already got the inactives hit, so we're going to jump into that first. But before we do, if everybody would do me that favor, do that YouTube stuff, hit like, hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here at any point in the near future. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your afternoon. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you're looking for that type of content, smash that bell icon. Make sure you sub to the channel. And everybody spin those laces for us. Hit that like button. We greatly appreciate it. So, Tim, man, you ready for this, dude? You ready to dive into this Denver Broncos matchup? Man, it should be a dandy.
Yeah, man, game day. 2 really good teams. This is going to be a treat for football fans, really across the league, not just Packers and Bronco fans. I think we're going to get a hell of a football game out there at Mile High in Denver.
As Joseph says in the chat, too, with these other NFC playoff hunt teams, we're playing halfway decent teams today. It's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds. I think you get the Lions and the Rams, if I remember correctly. And what we'll do when we get through the inactive list, we'll walk around the league, show you guys an update. I know the Bears are leading the Browns 14-3 right now. It seems like that game's momentum has shifted a little bit. I know Caleb Williams was limping a little bit in the first half, and then it looks like he's good now. But I know some people would look at that and go, okay, that's good news for the Packers if he's banged up. I'll be honest with you, man, it scares me to death to think of another quarterback playing for Chicago right now, the way their team's playing. I want Caleb out there, to be honest with you. So we'll see how that game unfolds, and we'll give you guys updates. Looks like they're punting again. Surprise, surprise. The Bears are on a 4th and 7. They punted away. We'll give you a little play-by-play just to give you an update here. Fair catch made. No, it wasn't a fair catch, but he caught it at the 15-yard line by the Browns, so they'll start at their own 15. We'll see if Shedeur Sanders can get something going. So completely agree, Joseph. It should be a fun day of football. We got a co-host today too, Tim. You ready for this? Look at my guy right here. You kidding me, man? Look at this guy.
Link is pumped up. Look at fired up for the game today.
Yeah. Lincoln, you good, man? Hey, how you doing, bub?
How many daddy sodas you give him?
Man, he's got his own stash. I can't keep up with him, to be honest with you. It's the best dog in the world. Man, that chair is kind of oversized too, man. That's a big dog sitting there. He looks like a little mini chair with him in it. He's about $1.25 right now. So, all right, there you go. We'll check in on him from time to time, Tim. All right, let's get into the inactive list as we had it released just a second ago. I believe our buddy Tom Silverstein put it out. Get it on the screen for you guys and gals. Bang, here we go. Packers running backs Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson are both active versus the Broncos. Tim, when I first read this, I thought it was going to say both inactive. I was going to go, oh, no. But these guys are both going to give it a go. Obviously, Emmanuel Wilson battling sickness and illness, it sounded like. And, of course, Josh Jacobs with the knee swelling up. Going to be exciting to see these two guys get out there and tote the rock. Like you said earlier in the week, Emmanuel Wilson probably got a little chip on his shoulder. Obviously, the Broncos didn't give him a snowball's chance in hell of making their roster, essentially, right? Just stashed him on the practice squad. The Packers said, we'll take him, and the rest is history. So how you feel about the actives there, and then we'll jump into the inactives.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing, we need all hands on deck against this Denver defense, and we'll see how Emmanuel Wilson looks out there. I mean, I wouldn't want to be dealing with an illness and then on top of that be, playing at altitude there in Mile High. So we'll see how he adjusts. And then same thing with Josh. Hopefully the knee holds up. I'm sure that it'll be kind of a two-headed monster that Matt LaFleur is going to approach this game with. And I'm wondering if they're both kind of going to be on a load management watch just to make sure we get out of here as healthy as we can today after this game. But it's good to see them both active against Denver. We're going to need them.
Yeah, and we got a couple questions here. I want to give a shout out to Elijah Gwynn, bring it up first. Joseph said it here in the chat too. Sorrell, a healthy scratch? Question mark. I'm guessing so. I haven't heard any details on that. The fact that he is a healthy scratch here. I will notice this after watching the Broncos tape, they love to give the ball to the fullback. They love to run with the fullback set. So they go with a lot of 21 look. So maybe we thought, hey, let's back off on the edge defensive, position, because obviously it sounds like LVN's going to be good to go. Let's deactivate one of those guys and maybe keep a big boy active. Obviously, you've got Bohanna and Nazir Stackhouse are both inactive, but you've still got our boy that we picked up from the Giants, right? What's his name again? I can't even remember his name, and this roster's turned over so many times. Riley, right? Jordan Riley.
Yeah.
Jordan Riley. So again, that's a great question there. If anybody knows in the chat, fire that out there. Let us know. Now, Solar asks, so Brenton Cox Jr. is active. I think, Tim, his window's open, but they haven't truly
I think he was ruled out earlier in the week. Wasn't he? Thursday or something like that?
I think he's a part of those 3 players that got the 21-day window open, and they still haven't made the decision to activate him yet, if I remember correctly. So even though he's not on the active or inactive list here, Solar, I think they're still waiting in that window to make that decision to go. Because, you got 21 days as they come off of IR. If I remember correctly, I think that's how that laid out there. So if anybody knows the answer to that question in the chat, you guys know what to do. Fire away. Chester Marco said, yeah, Cox is out. So there you go. Jacob would have a good time with that comment. Degenerate. So we'll see if he hops in here in a minute. But, yeah, so here are your full inactive lists. Running back, Pierre Strong Jr. leading the way here. Tim, you kind of talked about this. It sounds like they probably elevated Pierre Strong Jr. to kind of cover their rear end there in case Emmanuel Wilson's sickness or Josh Jacobs' knee kept one of those two out. You had a backup plan. Obviously, they're good to go, so you just kind of keep him inactive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Makes a lot of sense. If they're healthy enough to play and grit through it, you kind of want to get ahead of it and maybe have a backup plan, but it tells you all you need to know about how they feel about Josh and Emmanuel running the football today. So they're not suiting up Mr. Practice Squad. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we have to establish a run game. It's going to be very difficult to run the ball against Denver's front, but you're going to have to do it. And I hope we manage the game well and get these guys a couple of carries so that we can open things up in the passing attack.
Yeah. Other inactives on this list, you've got offensive lineman Donovan Jennings, defensive lineman Quentin Bohanna. You've got wide receiver Savion Williams, defensive line Nazir Stackhouse, and defensive lineman Baron Sorrell. So obviously Savion Williams being inactive says they must feel really, really good about the rest of the receivers. Jaden Reed obviously healthy last week. And then, of course, you got Matthew Golden has been limited on his snaps. Dontavion Wicks was limited on his snaps a little bit. They're probably a notch healthier this week as well with Savion. Just kind of, hey, get the foot. Let's let him sit out another week, get him a little bit healthier, right? That's what it seems like there.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. And then, of course, the big boys in the middle we talked about. You've got our other guy there, Riley. That's probably going to be they obviously see them a little bit higher on the depth chart, if you will, than some of the other big boys. Let's switch over now to the Broncos side of the active-inactive list, and that is Luca Evans on Twitter, @ByLucaEvans. Shout out to him, who tweeted out, right tackle Mike McGlinchey is officially good to go versus the Packers. We talked about him early in the week. That was going to be that one that kind of keep your eye on. No surprise, he's giving it a go there. So it's a standard list of inactives. No Savion Jones this week with DJ Jones back healthy. So when you look at the entire list here, you got Sam Ellinger, backup quarterback. He is inactive. Pat Bryant, wide receiver, obviously someone that was starting to kind of pick up a little bit of momentum this year. Obviously, rookie wide receiver, he's going to be out. Reese Taylor, cornerback. K. Robinson, if I'm saying that right, or Q. Robinson, outside linebacker. You've got Jerron Christian, tackle. Jordan Jackson, defensive lineman, and Savion Jones, the aforementioned Savion Jones there at defensive end. Those are the inactive lists there for the Denver Broncos. Anything there catch your attention, Tim? Because it looks like they're fairly healthy with the exception of Pat Bryant.
Yeah, that's the one that kind of stood out to me, right? I was actually looking forward to seeing our boys match up against him. He was pretty high on my draft board last year. I forgot where he ended up on ours, but yeah, I think this is kind of straightforward for Denver. I mean, really, what's his name on the O-line? That's the big one right there. We were kind of hoping that would have went the other way, but it didn't. So we're going to get a pretty healthy team here for this matchup today.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Completely agree. So those are your actives and inactives. I'm going to make a quick little glance over here to the Packers Twitter account, see if they've got any information coming out, just how to watch. Obviously, it's going to be on CBS. I imagine it's going to be Tony Romo and Jim Nantz calling this one probably the game of the week, with some are saying could potentially be a Super Bowl preview here, with the Packers and the Broncos both having great years, obviously. So going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds there. Looking here, Wendell Ferreira did tweet out, yeah, Lucas Van Ness back, Baron Sorrell's a healthy scratch, so he kind of seen that the same way there. And yeah, I'm liking where we're sitting here, man. I really am. So there's your actives and inactives. Let's go around the league real quick, because Caleb Williams just threw a dime piece. I mean, a dime piece in the Bears game. Surprise, surprise, he was throwing on the run, rolling to his right. You get him to sit in the pocket, man, he can't throw. I mean, he is so inaccurate. You get him on the run, he throws into double coverage, threads the needle, gets a touchdown there. So the Bears continue to dominate the Browns. That Browns offense, they just hit on a pretty big explosive here. It looks like from about the 35-yard line, Shador hit a post route to whoever number 16 is. It's one of those things, Tim, watching them play defense against the Bears today, they're playing it. To me, it looks like, from the TV copy, albeit, they're predominantly playing man coverage. And it's like the worst thing you could do against this Bears offense. It really is, because if he buys time, then obviously if Caleb buys time with his legs, he's going to be able to scramble around and let one of those guys get freed up. And obviously while they're running the rock, it's been A and B gap designs and then bounce it outside. Or they'll just run a stretch play, and it's like everybody's back somewhat to the ball. You can tell they're on their heels ready to play man coverage, and they're just running all over them. But Caleb, it's so weird to see a quarterback that's so bad at throwing the football from within the pocket, but when he gets on the edge, he's just accurate as all get out. So obviously the Bears are leading here 21-3 over the Browns. You got the Ravens going into Cincy, another cold weather game. Ravens taking care of business 17-0. Now, it's the best of my knowledge that the Bengals do have Joe Burrow in this game, right? Yeah. So that's another team, man. Baltimore, they may get hot at the last second, Tim. We got them coming up on the schedule here real soon, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be an interesting game at Lambeau in a few weeks, really. But yeah, I look at Baltimore the same way I kind of look at Kansas City. You can't really look at the record right now and write them off. A team could surge. This is the time of year. I mean, every game matters like more than ever at this point of the season as you come down the stretch. So if you put together a few wins, you can flip your season around. Similar to what we've really seen with Houston these past few weeks. I mean, Houston had kind of a rocky start to their year, and they're hanging around in the playoff picture right now. So there's a handful of teams like that you can't judge them by their record. You got to look at how they're playing ball and how they're playing ball right now. Like you said, 4-game saturation.
Yeah, and that's probably going to wrap it up in Chicago early or late in the third quarter. Shador Sanders just throws a interception in the end zone. So the Bears obviously catching a rookie QB here and dominating there. And again, the Browns offense hasn't been able to do anything today. It's been, abysmal. And you guys know the Bears have one of the worst defenses. And what a weird interception. Shador puts it right on his guy, bounces off his chest and into the arms of Jalen Johnson. That was crazy. What a wild interception that was, man. As Holmes MD wants his Sanders' his dirty cheeks. So let's look at the numbers here. Shador Sanders, 7 of 19, 112 yards and 2 interceptions. He's been sacked twice for a loss of 17. Caleb on the day, 14 of 21, 218, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's been sacked twice, and they've lost 15 yards there. So obviously Caleb playing much better football today in Chicago. Going to be interesting to see if he brings that to the table next week. And you can kind of see, man, Cleveland's offense, Tim, their running game, 11 carries for 27 yards. They're screaming for Joe Flacco. Can we get Joe Flacco back out here, please? Wow.
Like you said, rookie quarterback, right? This is part of the bumps and bruises. You gotta learn some lessons the hard way in the NFL and kind of earn your stripes. So yeah, Shador clearly struggling right now. And despite the defense that they have, it's going to be tough to beat anybody if you can't move the football, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right, so again, the Ravens at 6-7 are beating the Bengals, who are sitting at 4-9. That's about the third quarter is about to come to an end. They're about to start the fourth. Now, another game here, Chargers at the Chiefs. This one's interesting. Obviously, the Chiefs just clinging on to any kind of hope. This one's tied up 13-13, Tim. They're out there in Kansas City. It's under 20 degrees as well, if I remember correctly, in the teens. Patrick Mahomes, 9 of 17 for 94 yards. You got Justin Herbert, 14 to 21 for 160 with a tutter and an interception there as well. Both teams have taken 3 sacks, it appears, here early in the game. So that one's probably going to come down to the wire there, I would imagine. That's going to be an interesting finish as the Chiefs and the Chargers are tied at 13. It's just so wild to see the Chiefs. I want to say they're somewhat healthy too, Tim. Like, let's see, Pacheco's out there, right? Obviously, Kelce, or at least a version of Travis Kelce's out there, man. Here the last few weeks, seems like every time I turn on a Chiefs game, he's bobbling a ball and it's getting intercepted. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, but Chiefs, that dynasty seemed like it's starting to lose steam, man.
Yeah, it's kind of cracking a little bit. But you know what? This is one of those games that, like we just talked about, these type of teams, right? That you can't really write them off, but they have to win today. You go down to, you drop another game, especially at home. Conference game, you go to 6-8, you're really fighting uphill. I mean, you're already fighting uphill. So that's one to keep an eye on. Tie ball game there at Arrowhead in Kansas City. That's one to watch for sure on the AFC side.
Yeah, this one's
the Bills back in the game. Holy cow!
Tell them what you told me earlier, Tim, because we were watching that game. Boy, it was out of control early, wasn't it?
I said it looks like New England was firing up the boat, getting ready for a boat race, and of course, as soon as I said something, Josh Allen does what he does, and it's a 3-point game right now.
Yeah. So obviously they've came back here. It's 24-21. Bills have the ball, but the Patriots are leading 24-21. Patriots come in sitting at 11-2. The Bills at 9-4. It looked like it was over early. Now it's the end of the third quarter, and it's a 3-point game with the Bills trying to drive here. So on the day, though, Drake May, 13-19, 150 yards passing, no touchdowns. He did throw a pick. And then on the other side, you see Josh Allen trying to stay patient, 12-17, 107 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And Josh Allen has 6 carries for 40 yards. So there you go, man, just making things happen on the go there, scrambling. In terms of receiving, let's see what we got here. Dalton Kincaid leading the way there, 2 catches for 30 yards on 3 targets. So he's the leading receiver for them. New England, Mac Hollins, 3 catches for 36 yards as it sits right now. That's another cold weather game. Get the snow flying out there. I mean, always nice to see that in New England. So
yeah, for sure. Great adjustment by Buffalo though too, because they were they had no answers at all for that New England defense, and then seemed like right around the beginning of the middle 8, really towards the end of the second quarter, that you could tell something clicked. We saw Buffalo convert on a 3rd down and was able to get in the end zone and really start to finally move the football. And now here we are going into the 4th quarter, 3-point game. I mean, this is why we love this sport, right? It's not always how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely. Jerry with the super chat. Thank you so much, Jerry. Appreciate you. It's all about our O-line. Say a prayer here. Do we have backup offensive linemen if our guys get gas? That's a great question. Great question. I will say this, Jerry. I feel pretty good about our O-line in a sense of the backups, because you do have Darian Kennard waiting in the wings, and you got Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan was a starter earlier this year, right? And they started trying to give Anthony Belton some reps. Now, who knows? Maybe Anthony Belton steps back in, or maybe Anthony Belton takes a seat today, and maybe Jordan Morgan gets to start. I don't expect that. I think they're wanting to try to create some momentum with Belton at right guard. And I do think that Jordan Morgan is the plan at left tackle next year, unless a stud left tackle falls to you in the draft somehow, some way. So I feel pretty good about our backups. I understand what you're saying too, though. Anytime you go to a backup 10, it's not the ideal situation, like Jerry's saying. But the fact that you got Kennard and you got Jordan Morgan, now if Kennard ends up having to go in the game because a starter goes down, now you kind of minimize your opportunities there for that Y70 look we talk about, or U70, however you want to describe it, right? That could be a little bit of a change in the game plan as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If that's in the works in the game plan today, and you're not going to be able to do that if you need Kennard out there, just to put 5 on the line, right? So Matt, though, he'll adapt, and I think they're going to hold up. Hopefully they really put it together. I think Sean Ryan's been playing much better at the center position, given that he kind of got thrown into that role when Big E went down. I think he's starting to settle into that role. So I agree. I think if the interior of that O-line can hold up, we'll be all right. We got a chance to win this ball game today.
I think it's a great point, though. Great point. Like she says here, Jerry goes on to say, need that jumbo
package. Yep.
Gotta have that jumbo package. Thank you for the super chat, Jared. We appreciate you. Moving throughout the rest of the league here, you got the Commanders and the Giants. This is the toilet bowl this week. The Commanders at 3-10 are leading the 2-11 Giants 22-14. They're about to come to the end of the third quarter there. Let's see what's going on in the box score for this meaningless game. Exactly what you would expect, Tim. Marcus Mariota, 6 of 14 for 95 yards passing, right? Pretty much done nothing. Jackson Dart, 15 of 26, 175 yards passing, got a tutter, but he's also got a pick. Each team has taken one sack there for a loss of 7-yard loss and an 8-yard loss. Looking at the running game, it looks like both teams are about even there for the most part. Washington run the ball 26 times for 125 yards and a rushing touchdown by what do they call him? Bill Krosky-Merritt, I believe. And then, of course, on the Washington or New York side, you've got Tyrone Tracy, 10 carries for 54 yards and a tutter. Jackson Dart playing a little bit of that makeshift Josh Allen look there with 6 carries for 52 yards. He had a long of 29 as well.
Yeah, they're probably figuring whatever they got to do to get the damn ball down the field, right? I mean, if he's got to take off and run, so be it. And that can kind of get you back in a game, right? Like you said, we just saw that with Josh Allen kind of finding a way to do it with his feet there and get his team on the board. And now they're, knocking on the door again. It's a close game. So, same thing could happen there with the Giants. I mean, it's still a close game, right? One-score game.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. Like I said, that's more about draft picks in this particular game. Yeah. But all right, going on down the line, we got the Eagles and the Raiders. The Eagles come in 2-11 on the road against Philadelphia. Philadelphia sitting at 8-5, and boy, they're getting right today as they are leading 31-0 right now in the fourth quarter. They are taking care of business. Let's see what the Eagles have done here. Jalen Hurts, 12 of 15, 175 yards passing, three touchdowns, no picks. Obviously, coming out that 4-pick, 1 fumble game, Tim, he needed to get right game, and no better team to do it against than those Las Vegas Raiders, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Saquon getting it done on the ground there too. 78 yards and a tutter. Yeah, I mean, Philly fans, I don't think were in panic mode after last week or anything, but they certainly weren't feeling very good about their team, and they'd feel even worse if for some reason they crapped the bed against the worst team in the league. And I think it's a testament, like you said, to what Philly's got, going on in that locker room. They clearly needed to get right game, and they are 31-0 right now. That'll make any team feel good, right? It's the way to bounce back after a tough loss is go out there and boat race somebody.
God, a little update here for you guys in the Chicago game. Nobody, don't wish this on your most hated rival, but Caleb rolls out right, hits Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet tries to lower his head. His cleat was kind of stuck in the ground. Guy goes low, hits him in the knee, and it looked like his ankle might have got caught as it's almost like his leg was hyperextended there, but it looks like an ankle injury. He immediately grabbed his ankle, and they're having to help him off, a couple trainers. So Cole Kmet coming out of the game. They love running those tight end leak plays. That's another thing that could come into play here next week as the Packers travel to Chicago. So Cole Kmet walking off very gingerly with help. I don't know. You guys know I'm not a doctor, as a wise man once said, but it does kind of look like that's probably more of a break than like an ACL. Now they're not helping him, and he's limping. But to me, it does look like it's probably more of an ankle thing than it is a knee thing. I don't know. Maybe he'll be good, though. We'll see. Ben Johnson checking.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
We'll keep an eye on that one, obviously. Don't, like I said, man, we're not here to celebrate injuries like that. You hate to see it no matter how much you hate a team. It was just kind of a tough look in real time. So,
well, you saw Zach Ertz take that hit last week. My goodness. And he wasn't walking off the field. So, limping off the field is good. Hopefully a strain or a sprain or something. But yeah, I mean, I can't stand the Bears either, but you don't want to wish injury on any of these players in the league at all.
And we know they got all kinds of tweets they fire out there. Bears fans, Vikings fans, Lions fans. Somebody gets hurt, they run their victory laps. I never want our fan base to be considered like that, man. Never.
Absolutely.
So, take the high road there. Next, we got the Jets at 3-10 traveling to Jacksonville. This is coming toward the end of the third quarter as well. Jacksonville is just leading dominant 38-13 there at home. They're sitting at 9-4 on the year. And Tim, we made fun of old Duval, but let me tell you, Liam Cohen got them boys playing good football.
Sure does. Fabio having another good game too. 19 of 28, 285, 4 tutters, no picks.
Heck of a day.
Some good ball.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then, of course, Brady Cook is the quarterback on the other side for the Jets, whoever the hell that is. 12 of 18 for 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick there. So, again, Jacksonville taking care of business at home. And then moving along to the next game, the final game we'll cover here, and we'll get back to talk a little bit of Packers. You got the Cardinals at 3-10 traveling to the Houston Texans at 8-5. Texans taking care of business there in the fourth quarter, 30-14. They have the ball right now, and they are driving about to score there at Arizona's 15-yard line. And, man, D'Amico Ryans, he has that defense playing so well. But looks like C.J. Stroud having a heck of a day, 18-23, 223 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks, been sacked 1 time. Running game's running strong, 21 carries for 105 while stopping the Cardinals rushing game at 17 carries for 61 yards. Dalton Schultz, the tight end, big boy there, 8 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 1 grab for 57 yards and a tutter as well. And then, of course, on that defense, you've got Danico Autry hitting home with a sack, it looks like, for the only sack of the day, and Kamari Lassiter with a pick there in that game as well. Houston, man, got one of the better defenses in the league. But it's interesting to watch Houston, man. They're kind of up and down. But anytime I've got a chance to watch them play, Tim, that defense looks dominant, man.
Yeah, incredible. Well, it shouldn't surprise us, right? And we know D'Amico Ryans is one of the top defensive minds, I think, around today in football, and a guy who, when he first got his crack at being a head coach, the people have scratched their head and, hey, can he be a head coach? We know he can coordinate a defense, but can he be a head coach? And clearly, I think he's proven that he's a damn good coach, and he's got his boys playing some really good football right now. A lot of familiar faces there from the draft board on that Texans roster too, from our drafts last year.
No doubt about it. So if you go on into the 4 o'clock window games, 4:25, obviously our Packers 9-3-1 traveling to the Broncos that are 11-2. They are 6-0 at home. The Packers are 4-1-1 on the road. So something's got to give there. Do we give them their first home loss of the year? Do they continue to roll? This is one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, we'll continue to break it down as we get closer to kickoff. You got the Lions at the Rams, Tim. So this is going to shake up the NFC a little bit. The Rams 10-3. Facing the 8-5 Lions. If the Rams win this game, it's going to be really hard for the Lions to end up making the playoffs, I believe. Man, obviously we talk about you win 12, you're definitely in. 11 might get it done, but the Lions are really struggling down the stretch. I know that just breaks your heart, doesn't it, man?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to lose a lot of sleep over that one. At first I was listening to your one of your earlier streams, and it's like, I don't know how to feel about this game because first of all, you hate Detroit, so you want to see them lose, but as far as playoff seedings go, it's like, what would be a better scenario? Detroit moving to 9-5, and then the Rams going to 10-4. As far as the NFC picture looks, maybe, but I'm going with Matty Stafford and the boys. Hopefully the Rams get it done today for sure.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that here in a second for sure. We'll go to the playoff simulator and kind of look at what's on the line for these 4 o'clock windows. A lot of good games in the 4 o'clock window. The Panthers and the Saints are not one of those games. Obviously, the Panthers at 7-6, Saints at 3-10, going to be played down there in New Orleans. And then, of course, you got the Titans at the Niners. Who knows, man? Maybe the Titans can pull an upset here. I wouldn't put my money on it. Niners coming in at 9-4, they're 3-2 at home. Obviously, going to be facing the 2-11 Titans. It's just wild to see how well New England's playing this season. And they said, the Tennessee Titans said, "No, we don't want Vrabel. We'll just let him go," right? And he goes up there and wins immediately with one of the worst teams in the league from last year in the Patriots. Although the Buffalo Bills did just take the lead. Looks like they were playing a little red 2 look. Surprise, surprise. Vrabel keeping that tradition going with Bill. And, of course, it looked like Josh Allen rolled right and hit. Might have been a tight end. Might have been Dalton Kincaid for the touchdown there. So they're leading with the extra point. The Buffalo Bills now lead 28-24 with 10 minutes left there in New England. Colts at the Seahawks. Tim, man, we get to see it. Phillip Rivers, going to be 55 degrees and rainy for the 44-year-old going to get out there. People were making fun of his weight earlier, man. I'm like, I hope nobody ever sees me without a shirt on. This, my God, man, they looking at Phillip Rivers. You would think he was on 1,000-pound sisters or something, man. You know
yeah. And are you kidding? It's probably going to help him if he's got a little extra weight, honestly, because these young fellas hit pretty hard nowadays in the NFL. So that'll be fun. I'm sure he was hoping that his debut return back to football would have been, at Lucas Oil in the friendly confines of a dome. But instead, you're out there in Seattle with, the 12th man and the crazy loud fans that they have there. So it'll be a fun one to watch, even though I will only be paying attention to our Green Bay Packers at that time.
Absolutely. And J. Cole did confirm that was Dalton Knox, so tight end. I thought it looked like a big boy out there that caught that touchdown. Kurt McGirt with the info there as well. And then, of course, Sunday night football tonight is going to be the 5-8 Minnesota Vikings coming off a pretty strong win last week, are going into Dallas to face the 6-6-1 Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys, I don't know if they're statistically eliminated yet, but boy, they got an uphill battle here to try to get in the playoffs. So, got anything you want to add to that in terms of Vikings and Cowboys there, Tim? I think it goes without saying is we want the Vikings to win that game, probably, right?
Yeah, technically speaking, but shout out to SA, right? I'm sure he wants to get a dub, so we might silently root for Dallas in that one.
It's a good point, man. It's hard to root against the Cowboys knowing that SA's out there for sure. So,
yes, sir.
All right, let's switch over to the playoff simulator to kind of give everybody an idea of what's on tap here in terms of these games today. Let's say things stay the way they are for the most part. Let's just go ahead and click these games in. Again, we're not saying this is how it's going to end up, but you guys know how it typically goes. So we're going to say that the Bills do hold off the Patriots somehow, some way. We're going to say that the Ravens, why is that? The Bengals already checked there? Is that game already over or something, Tim? What's going on there? Why does that look like the Bengals are already? It doesn't make sense. Let me just take a quick glance. Now the Ravens are still winning that pretty handily. So we're going to go Bills here. We'll go Ravens there. We'll Jags there. Jaguars beat the Jets. Let's say the Chargers beat the Chiefs. All right. The Houston holds on to the Cardinals. The Bears are definitely going to hold on. They're up 28-3 now. So the Bears are going to get the win. And just that one right there, Tim, you can see the Bears jump to the 6th seed there as it sits right now. Let's say that the Giants come away with the win there over the Commanders. Let's say the Eagles finish that game off. They're obviously destroying the Raiders at the moment. And Seattle and Indianapolis is our first game. We go, okay, what's on the line here, right? If Seattle wins, they're currently the 5 seed. If they win, they're going to jump to the number 1 seed as everything sits right now. Okay, that means they would bypass the Packers before the Packers play, obviously. If the Colts win, then Seattle stays at that number 5 seed is essentially what's going to happen. So let's say worst case scenario, Seattle wins here, okay, and beats the Colts. Obviously, I think they should have the edge. They're at home, tough place to play. Obviously, you got Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, coming in there to try to get that dub for the Colts. Now, Packers-Broncos, all right? Let's go through the others first, then we'll come back to the Packers-Broncos, all right? Let's say the 49ers get beat by the Titans. Right now, they're the 7th seed. If the Titans upset them, they stay the 7th seed. The 49ers does as it sits right now. The 49ers win that game, they're going to jump to the 6th seed, and Chicago at 10-4 actually falls to the 7th seed. That's, again, even with Chicago getting this win today that we already checked. All right. Then you've got the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. It really doesn't matter who wins there. Let's say Carolina does. They're the number 4 seed right now, leading their division. Well, actually, if the Saints beat them, the Bucs jump back in first place, Tim. They are 7-7, and they'd be leading their division. Isn't that wild, man?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, again, that's if the Saints win. If Carolina wins, which I think Carolina probably takes this one, if that happens, they hold on to the number 4 seed, leading the NFC South there. And then you got Detroit at LA. This is where it gets good, Tim. Let's say that Detroit wins this ball game. Right now, they're not in the playoffs. But if the Detroit Lions win this ball game, they still are not in the playoffs with how everything lays right here. That's wild to think about, right? And, of course, it does shake some things up. The Rams now become the number 7 seed. The Bears are the 6th seed. And, again, this is before the Packers game. The Packers will still be the number 2 seed. If the Rams win, however, they go to the 1 seed. Tim, that is wild. If they win that game, they're the 1 seed. If they lose, they drop all the way to the 7 seed. Think about that.
That's crazy.
Love this time of the year, right?
Yeah, it's wild. And what is the record for Detroit? They're 8-6, right? So same.
That's a good question. Let's see here. 8-5 is what they're
8-5. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's a tight race there in the NFC for sure. And you can see what a difference 1 week makes. A couple games going another way and everything just changes. I mean, look at what we dealt with last week with the Bears, right? You go from first to last very quickly, and you can get right back there too. So yeah, you're right. It looks like Detroit trying to find a path to the playoffs. I mean, if they don't start stacking up wins, I think they're pretty much the writing will be on the wall that they're out, right?
Yeah,
I would think so. Like a 30% chance or something like that, 35% chance of making it.
Yeah, it sounds about right. So again, who do we think is going to win? I think the Rams probably take that game. Although That's tough, man. Who do we want? To me, it feels like you want the Lions to win because even if they win, they're not technically in the playoffs. As bad as that sucks. But if they do that, if the Lions pull off that win, then that puts us a little bit closer to the number 1 seed, right?
That is true. That's true.
So
I will not go as far as to root for Detroit. It's not going to happen.
You'll just look up and go, okay, the Lions won, good, and just walk off, right?
Yep.
You won't be standing in front of the TV screaming and shouting, right? So
exactly.
All right, so let's say the Lions win. All right, now let's go to the Packers game. We're going to come back to if the Rams win or not. All right, so if the Lions win that game, the Packers are the number 2 seed as it sits. If the Packers beat the Broncos, right, they stay the 2 seed. They do not jump Seattle. However, like we said, if the Colts beat Seattle and the Packers win, your Packers are the number 1 seed in the NFC. How cool is that, right? So let's say that stays the same. Seattle does win that game, actually, so the Packers, the best they can do is the number 2 seed. If the Packers lose to the Broncos, now the Packers fall to the 7 seed. The Bears will jump to the 2 seed. And, Tim, we're right back where we were last week going into Chicago and the NFC North on the line again in Chicago. It doesn't get any better than this, man. You've got to love December football, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just it's always better when the Packers and the Bears are relevant and we're slugging it out in the division. And you got the Lions and the Vikings, at the bottom looking up. I always feel good about how those seasons turn out for us. At least in my lifetime. So it's definitely fun to watch. I would personally love to host a playoff game this year, guys. So if we can get a little help here and there and keep handling our business, I think it's a realistic possibility that we host playoff football at Lambeau this year.
Yeah. Greg Rice in the chat says Bears twice in 3 weeks is nuts. Tim, I really don't like it that close together. I'd rather it be spaced out and have some fun with it, kind of build up a little more momentum to it. But again, it at the same time, man, we're going to be showcased, right? It's going to be a Saturday night game. It's going to be, everybody's going to be watching that ball game. It's going to be a blast, man.
Yeah.
So.
My boy Tony's going to be at that game. Dress warm, brother.
Yeah.
He's probably listening right now. Dress warm out there at Soldier Field.
Yeah, we'll see how that weather looks as we get closer to that game. So, again, I feel like the Packers can win this ball game today. It's going to be a tough game. If I had to pick one way or the other, if I had to put money on just a money line, who's going to win this game, I would pick the Packers over the Broncos personally. I just feel like we got the better quarterback at the moment. I think the coaches are they're kind of neck and neck there, right? When you look at the offensive line, you can make a case that the Broncos have the better offensive line. I think we have the better edge rushers or just pass rush in general. They got a little bit better run game than us, but we've definitely got a better passing game. I just kind of feel like with the weather playing to more of a passing game, as long as the altitude doesn't screw with our accuracy on deep balls, I think that Jordan could go out there and have a big game. Got to keep him upright. The other statistic here, Tim, so Denver, I think is, what is it? They're one of the best teams in yak yardage. So they like to throw underneath with Bo Nix, and those guys pick up yak yardage in between, right? Well, the Packers are number 1 in the league at controlling yak yardage. Okay. So to me, that favors the Packers in that matchup, right? We tackle really well this year, knock on wood that continues. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, Denver plays the most man coverage of any defense in the league. Across the league, they play the most man coverage. Jordan Love against man coverage this year, 3rd best rating versus man coverage. So he's the 3rd best quarterback in terms of passer rating against man coverage. Another thing to keep an eye on, Coach Gruden talked about this on his breakdown. Denver loves to sub a lot. They're always subbing guys in and out on defense. Don't be surprised if you see us try to go hurry up and catch them with 12 men on the field for a free play. So those are some of the things that stood out to me when breaking this game down at a little bit different level all week long. How do you feel about that? Is there anything you want to add to that kind of sticks out to you?
I hope they do that, Clayton, like you mentioned. Maybe it's not full-blown hurry-up offense, but it's definitely tempo. If you got an alert or a code word that you're going to use, maybe you get a nice 2nd or 3rd down run there from Josh Jacobs, and you see them trying to change personnel, get up to the line, run a play. I love it because it may take that to beat this team, but I'm with you, Clay. I think we have a good chance of winning this ball game today for sure.
Yeah, I definitely do. And somebody read that chat that I put on the screen, Tim. I'm going to try to grab this for them real quick.
Packer Doug says, Clayton, what website do you get the defensive scheme breakdown for each team?
So if you'll go to Twitter at @football_insights, okay, @football_insights is the Twitter account. They pull it from another website, and they always give credit for it. I'm trying to see. Hopefully it downloaded. It did. Here are the updated numbers that you're asking about, Doug. I know we got a lot of stuff on the screen right now. We'll come back to the playoff simulator in a second. But here are those numbers you're asking for, all right? So as it sits right now, let me go ahead and drop his comment down because this is giving me a little bit of stress, all this stuff on the screen at the moment. I'm a very organized person.
You got that big NASA computer over there too.
Telling you, man, that's why you got to see me bat my eyes like a crackhead. There's like it's one of those two that does this, that it's curved. So I'm going the whole time like an old man. But yeah, so you see, so you see the Broncos when you look at yards per pass attempt. They're like top 3, maybe even the best in the league, right? They're definitely top 3. However, when you look at EPA per drop back, they have the Broncos sitting in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spot here. Okay. Now, in terms of coverage, Doug, here is what they do. Notice the man coverage column on the left. All right. They play cover 1 man 25% of the time. They play cover 0, which is a what we call a goose blitz, right? There's no safeties on the shelf. You're fire. Everybody's in man coverage or a green dog blitz, essentially, right? They'd run that 6% of the time, and they actually play 2-man under 4% of the time. When they're in 2-man under, if it's a 3rd and long and they're in 2-man under, good luck converting, right? That's one of my favorite defenses to see us play when it comes to a 3rd and long situation. Now, how do you combat that? You stay out of those 3rd and long situations. You stay on schedule where you continue to run the rock if they do try to go to 2-man under. It's not like they run it a lot, but they definitely run it a significant amount there at 4%. As you can see, the rest of the league, they're probably somewhere around 6th or 7th in terms of running 2-man under at that rate. Now, when you go over to the zone side of the defense, they're playing cover 3 24% of the time, cover 3 zone or some variation of. They play cover 2 12% of the time, cover 4 12% of the time, and cover 6 11% of the time. Okay. So again, when you look at this, they're playing more man coverage total than anybody else in the league, if I understood correctly. Right. So again, what does that mean? It doesn't mean they're playing it 60% of the time. It simply means they're playing it. What is that? 35% of the snaps, Tim, they're in man coverage. Now, according to this chart, it's showing the Browns actually play a little more man coverage than that, as I've seen today. Let me confirm for you, boy. They basically handed this game to Chicago, just going out there playing man coverage and letting them run all over them. It's coaching malpractice by Stefanski to watch the Chicago Bears offense and then go, you know what, guys, let's go play man coverage. It's just silly. It's absolutely insane that you would allow a scrambling quarterback to get man coverage dominant looks. And especially against a running game, as Tim, we always talk about it, right? If somebody's playing man coverage, run or rock on their ass, man. Run it on them, right? Yep. So that's kind of what happened there. But back to the Broncos, that's what it looks like. Essentially what you've got here, Tim, is right at 50% of the snaps will be middle field close. That doesn't mean pre-snap middle field close. That means post-snap. By the time the play plays out, they're going to be in a middle field close look. All right. Now, it looks like with them playing whatever it is, 12% cover 4, 12% cover 2, and then a variation at 11% of cover 6. That's probably more of a split safety look. So they may show some shell, but make sure you just take them what they give you in the run game, in my opinion. So anything you want to add to that? Hopefully that answered Doug's question. It was a long-winded answer, but hopefully that makes sense.
No, I agree with that. I mean, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of cover 1 man, and then we're going to see a lot of cover 3, cover 3 zone. On the flip side, you see 24% run cover 3 zone. I'm assuming they're going to try and mix up some of those looks, but if they like to play man heavy, you're right. That's why I talked about it, man. We got to get Josh and Emmanuel going on the ground, and then we need to generate our passing shot plays off of that, because if we're not able to at least run into that man-to-man type of defense, it's going to be harder for us to pass against it down the stretch, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Caterpillar with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, Tim, where did you get that hoodie? I love it. And it would go great with the green and gold Jordan 12. Oh, my God. Now you're speaking my language. Got the J's out here. Let's go. The green and gold Jordan 12s. I just got as an early Christmas present. Yes, I bought them for myself, but it still counts. Slap emoji. So, Tim, where'd you get that hoodie? Talk to us, man.
I have to ask my mom's, because it was a gift. Mom's got it as a Christmas gift for me a few years ago. I'm pretty sure it's from the Pro Shop. It's a Nike hoodie. You might want to look around online. Maybe you could find it somewhere, but it is a couple years old. I don't know if they still have this design, but it's fleece lined. It's nice and warm. got to have it right now. It's only like 6 degrees up here in Green Bay, so I'm bundled up.
I was going to say, man, I like the turtleneck you got going there too.
Oh yeah, that's vintage, man. 1994, Brett Favre turtleneck right there.
Clap it up. Got to break it out.
Yeah, that's the old school vintage. Got to do that.
I can't wear a turtleneck, man. I look like an absolute moron when I put a turtleneck on. You look sophisticated as hell. I put a turtleneck on, man. Mandy gonna make fun of me all night. That's just the way it's gonna go, man. Just when you got the tadpole head like I do, man. That's what stuff you deal with. So thank you for the super there, Caterpillar. Appreciate you. And Doug, you're welcome. I see the thank you there, man. You're very welcome. All right, let's jump back to the playoff simulator. We never kind of finished with, all right, if the Packers do win this game, Tim, if everything plays out the way we think it's going to play out, I think this is what you're going to be looking at tomorrow when we wake up. Now, will everything play out? No, because if I was that good at picking these games, we'd be doing this stream live from a beach somewhere. You know what I mean, Tim? We'd be on our own private island somewhere. But you got essentially what's going to happen in the AFC. The Denver Broncos will be the number 1 seed, even if the Packers beat them. Okay. You'll have the New England Patriots in the 2 seed. Again, I'm trying to get an update here from that game real quick. They're on a commercial, I believe. I think I got it right here. Because if that's changed, we may go ahead and flip it. Patriots are back up. Look at that, 11 minutes left. That's going to be a heck of a finish. So let's say the Patriots now pull that off, Tim. It changes things up. The Patriots will be the 1 seed. Broncos 2, Jaguars 3, Steelers 4, Chargers 5, Texans 6, Bills 7 seed in the AFC. Switching over to the NFC, if everything unfolds the way we think it will before Sunday Night Football tonight, Seattle Seahawks will be the 1 seed, Packers the 2 seed, Eagles the 3 seed, Panthers the 4 seed, 49ers the 5 seed. You've got the Bears will be sitting in the 6th seed at 10-4, and then the Rams in the 7th seed. That's if Detroit wins that ball game. Let's say the Rams win, the Rams jump to the 1 seed, like we said. That's probably more of what'll happen. I think the Rams probably figure out a way to win that ball game, Tim. So it'll actually be the Rams 1 seed, Packers 2, Eagles 3, Panthers 4. It's so weird seeing the Panthers in the 4 seed as if they've done something positive here. Hawks a 5 seed, 49ers a 6 seed, and the Bears in the 7 seed. Is there anything you think would happen different in these games that I may be overlooking, man?
I guess I'm leaning towards what your prediction is here with the Lions Rams game, or I mean the Lions Lions and Rams. Detroit's pretty banged up defensively, right? Kirby Joseph out, Brian Branch is out, I believe, or not 100%. Something like that. So
he's out. Yeah,
he's out, right?
Yeah, they lost someone else too. I thought I could be wrong. I want to say they lost another player, but yeah,
they're going up against Tay Adams and and Matt Stafford, and I just I don't know. I don't know if Detroit can run with them when it comes to the passing attack. So I think I would agree with you. I think LA probably wins this game today.
Yeah. All right. So that's what it will look like at the end of the day if the Packers get that dub. And again, worst case scenario, if the Packers drop that, still in the playoffs, the number 7 seed, and the Bears will be sitting in the number 2 seed. So that's how that's going to shake out there. And looky here, we got a guy jumping in here. This is unbelievable, man. This guy right here.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late?
Tim has been ready to hit that the entire show, man. The entire show. Love it. Got Emilio in here with us now as we're getting closer to kickoff, man. We'll probably go for another 15 minutes or so. Everybody do me a favor. Would y'all please, I know we got a bunch of people in here watching, smash that like button, spin those laces, enjoy that little football emoji. When you hit that like button, notice how it spins that football. Now, it doesn't mean you click off of it so you can hit it again. Click it and leave it for us, all right? We greatly appreciate it.
How'd you fix that, Clay? We had the football last time. What'd you do?
Every time I say it, somebody in the chat goes, "Nope, it's back to a soccer ball." I don't know what's changing. I have no idea.
We got to stop saying soccer on our stream. Maybe that's
right. There we go.
The AI's picking it up.
I think it's every time. Yep, you mean the soccer ball is what Holmes just said. Unbelievable. Isn't it funny every time the half Mexicano jumps in here, it changes to a soccer ball? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
So
I don't know.
Hold up, you're half Italian, half Mexican, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's soccer across the board, right? I mean,
too bad I couldn't play it to save my life, though.
Dude, there ain't no way I can play soccer. I'm so uncoordinated, no doubt about it. What if it all of a sudden, now that we mentioned that you're half Italian, a little bocce ball or something will pop up?
There you go. You're gonna see just turning out pasta or something here in a second. Yeah.
Look at this guy over here, Emilio. What do you think about that? Look at my guy.
Link.
He's banging out the best snap, bro. We got it about 58 degrees up here. I get the heat off with the fire going downstairs.
He's loving it.
Oh, he's like, yes, I can sleep like that.
Here's the guy.
Emilio, we haven't got your take yet, man. How do you feel about this game so far? How do you feel? It's going to be a good one, right?
It is. It really is. I'm excited, right? We talked about how their defense is a super good defense. You got a really good head coach, young quarterback that you're going against. I think that you got a little bit more experience maybe on the offensive end with us. They're young, obviously, but I feel like the way the team can kind of play together is a little bit more organized than the Broncos, but that defense is going to be a challenge. I think it's a great challenge for our offense. So we'll have to see how we play. Going to need a lot of speed out there on D. Besides that, I'm excited. I think we get a good running game going. Let Jordan spin it. I think we're probably going to be around 27 points again. I'd say 28-21, something like that, or 24-21. But we can get a couple of stops. I'd like to see that defense back under 20.
Yeah.
For
Tim,
sure.
you got anything you want to add to that, man?
No, that's a great point. We talked about the over under on the total points for this game, and I just don't know.
What was it? Like 40 something?
It was like 43 or something, right, Clayton? Or 45
and a half, I believe. Yeah, last I checked. I'll get that pulled up for us.
Couple of good deeds. I mean, like two good defenses going against each other, Tim, that's a tough pick.
Yeah, we could end up, with a 17-14 type of game or something for all we know.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we're going to be in for a treat. But you're right. Defensively, we've got to be fast. We got to be strong. We got to be smart to beat this team. So I'm excited for the game. We're about a little more than a half hour away from kickoff. It's almost time. Love it.
And the only thing that matters in a 17-14 game, Tim, is the W. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Everyone's going to be mad. J Love threw one touchdown. McManus hit a field goal, and that was it. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. You talked of the best team in the AFC right now. That's going to be a big confidence boost, big one on the resume, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. Your priorities are getting out of Denver with a dub and as healthy as you possibly can be coming back home to Green Bay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you were asking about the over under, right?
Just total. Yeah.
Over under is set at 42.5. It has not moved at all. I don't know if it ever moves, to be honest with you. PFF has it at 43.1. So they're kind of saying, hey, hit the over on it. With the weather being the way it is, I would kind of agree with that, to be honest with you. Now, in terms of the point spread, it's down to 1.5 now that the Packers are favorites. So this is back to essentially – we had it at 3 points, right, with our PTA power rankings. How cool is this? People say 1.5 to 3 points is typically home field advantage. If you go with the 1.5 scenario, what's that make us? 3-point favorites, because the 1.5 is getting shaved off with Denver playing at home. And here's the number I like. 62% of the money, we came in right over that number we talk about. 60% or more of the public money is on one team to cover the spread, right, to win the spread bet. Typically, it goes in the opposite direction for the books, right, against the public. So to me, that's good news that it's held steady at 62%, and how that shook out. Now the money has kind of shifted as the week went along, or not the money, but the market has kind of shifted towards Denver a little bit, which is really, really interesting. You can see how it opened up here at 2.5, and then of course drops to 2, and then goes to 1.5, and that's where it's settled back in. It looks like actually the latest market here, as of yesterday, 5:45, they were showing the market having Denver just 1 point, Green Bay just 1 point favorites, as it says. So I don't know. Did that answer your question though, Emilio?
Yeah, well, definitely. And what it's getting me to is I think we're still going to have to. I think if there's a mistake in the special teams area for either team, that's going to flip the game. I mean, we're worried about turnovers always, but they got a pretty decent special teams, good punt returner, a good special teams coach. They got us on the last time we played them. So it's something that we 100% need to be prepared for. I know Rich has been, planning it. He knows what's going on back there. We gotta not lose it in special teams, keep that 1/3 out of it, and put it on your D and on your O.
For
That's
sure.
a great
dirt bag wash too. Brad Rogers is your ref. I didn't pull a photo yet, but
unbelievable.
Mr. Brad Rogers will be your head official.
We don't need to see the dirt bag to know.
I think I got the photo for you, Tim.
There it is. See, Emilio's on it. There it is.
Exactly.
It's your head ref today, guys.
All right, so Dart Arts Poker in the chat says Golden scores today. Book it. How we feel about Matthew Golden today, Emilio? How we feeling about him, Tim? What do you think, man? In terms of there we go. So how do we feel about Matthew Golden potentially getting in the end zone? He should be healthier this week than he was last week, right?
I was going to say, tell Lincoln to wake up. Golden's getting in the end zone today. Get fired up over there. Look at Lincoln can't contain his enthusiasm.
The rest of them might get loud, but let's see what happens here.
Yeah, come on now.
There it is. But yeah, I think today could be the game. You know, we're gonna have to throw the ball. You know, we talk about establishing a run, but I can see Jordan humming that tater all over the yard. And I really, as much as I'd like to see, you know, MG get one on a bomb or something, you know, a 9 up the sideline or something, I'd like to see it to him early in a crosser or early in space and just let him cook with the yak and get in the end zone. But I like it. Dark Arts Poker, I'm with you. Golden gets in the end zone. Let's manifest that Matthew Golden elusive first career touchdown. Love to see it today.
Tim, all he needs is one, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
watch it come on a jet sweep or something.
I was just gonna say that or a bubble screen for sure.
Yeah.
Just get the ball out to him in space. But you know, it's just something. You know, I'm glad that we're not forcing him in on special teams. Let him come back. Let him do his thing, and just get back into it slowly. As long as you get him in the end zone before the regular season's over, we'll be set going into the playoffs. I think all you need is one, just to get that ice broke, whatever it is, the monkey off your back, whatever you want to call it. And because it's not like he hadn't had a couple opportunities early.
Yeah. Let's see. Biz 1987 said, let's get Reed and Golden stretching east and west and bomb to Watson at moments. That don't sound too bad, man. Don't sound too bad at all, right?
Yeah.
Because we talked about the Broncos playing a lot of man coverage. That I think what you're going to see is a lot of crossers and a lot of cross corner routes, right?
Nice.
Now, you've seen them both kind of get unveiled. I imagine they're going to key in on the Broncos' tendencies. Do they play outside leverage or inside leverage when they're in that cover one man? If they're predominantly inside leverage, look for the cross corner routes. I like the combo. I like for Jordan to be able to drop back to pass, have one side be a cross corner, the other be a crosser, and it almost turns into like a drive concept with a crosser look. And I personally like that. That way it can be a choice route for the receivers. Now, the quarterback and the receivers got to be on the same page, but if one side is showing inside leverage, the other side showing outside leverage, all Jordan's got to do is drop back, read middle field close, where first of all, pre-snap, a little bit of motion, read man or zone, you got man, check it in the box, ball snapped, read the leverage, look left to right. All right, I got outside leverage, hammer the cross corner. I got inside leverage or outside leverage, hammer the crosser. I got inside leverage, hammer the cross corner. What it essentially becomes is once you determine whether it's man coverage or zone, post-snap, now it's pick a side by reading the leverage that the corners are playing with. Now, if they both play outside, let the crosser develop. Wherever the single high safety leans, go in the opposite direction and vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, moving along. Chester Marco says, Lincoln looks like he ate an entire turkey and down a box of wine. That's my
I'm not going to lie. I was faded. I ain't going to lie. I was faded. Like,
he's always faded, man. He's got a punch on him, dude. He's got obsessed with he's so big, right? Like he used to walk between my legs. Like I taught him tween, like when he was a pup. Like we'd be walking around, I'd just go tween, and he'll get right between my legs and put his head up and look at me, you know? So now he's so big, it's like I got to have a saddle for him. He just raises me off the ground. But now he's gotten to where he punches. He'll walk up and just randomly just hit you. And, dude, it hurts like hell.
How about these hands?
And he'll walk up to Nitschke, my little terrier. You've seen Nitsch, right?
Yeah.
His name is literally Raymond Nitschke on the papers, by the way. And he'll walk up to Nitsch and just smack him in the head, and his little chin will hit the floor. I'm like, you gotta stop. You're gonna kill this old guy. Like, what are you doing? So he's out of control, though, man. As you can see, Link. Hey, what are you doing, dude? You need to get a job.
He's like, I'm ready. Just somebody kick it off, man. I'm just ready for this.
Exactly. He said, I'm tired of y'all talking about this game. I'm ready to watch some football, man. That's what's going on. So, all right. I think we've covered everything pretty good. Is there anything else you guys want to hit on before we wrap this thing up? You ready for the game, man? Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Big crowd in here today. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. No, it's like I said, gotta hold them down on special teams. Offense needs to hold it down, and defense needs to contain Sean Payton. But I think our D's kind of ready for it. They like to chip away at it. We're not afraid to give them a couple of dumps underneath. We have the speed to flow to the ball. That just turnovers, special teams are going to be key. Win in the trenches, basics, man.
When you say special teams too, Emilio, are you thinking like their return game or you're thinking their return game or
I'm thinking their return game, but also they did pull the fake punt on us last time we played them was 2 years ago. So just being ready and prepared across the board. We just can't let that one be what loses a big game against an opponent like that, AFC leading, all that.
Got it. Tim, anything you want to add there? I'm just trying to comb through the special teams while y'all talk about this, trying to see exactly what they got going on here.
I mean, really echoing Emilio's point, protect the football, right? You want to be +1 in the turnover differential if you can, but you definitely don't want to be giving anything up. And then, play discipline. You're on the road. Mile High is an interesting place to play football. And I'm sure their fans are going to be loud. They got a good football team. No false starts. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot with these procedural errors and, bad penalties that can cost you in a game. And I think we get out of there with a win. To Emilio's point, again, if we hold them under 20, I think that's going to be a recipe for a dub for this Packers team. If we're getting into a shootout like we did last week against the Bears there towards the end, it could go either way. I think it's going to be interesting, but I think we're going to have a close game either way about it today.
Mm-hmm.
And points per play, they are 17th in the league, right? At 0.370 points per play. Now, you were talking about keeping them under 20. Is that what you guys said, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, let's go scoring offense. Let's go points per game. Points per game, Denver is currently sitting 14th at 23.7 points per game. So you'd have to kind of really slow them down a bit. Their last 3 games are actually averaging 24.3 points per game, right? So that's something that with the way their defense plays, it's that magic number is 27, right? That 27. If we score 27 points, we typically get the dub, right? In this case, if they hit their average of, let's say, 24 points and we score 27, there's your ball game, right? Again, I think it's going to come down to turnover differential. Emilio thinks special teams is going to be a key factor. So if they muff a punt, if we muff a punt, first of all, if they muff a punt, disregard what Emilio said. If we muff a punt, blame his ass.
Yeah, right. No, that's it for sure. To the defensive point, Clay, just 2 insights here. The Packers displayed an increased use of man coverage throughout the course of a game. We start at 6.9% at the beginning and increase it each quarter. We end up at around 23.2%. Overall, we've actually allowed the fewest yards per dropback, 3.6 of any team in man coverage. And Bo is throwing for about 2.9 in man. All right. And then our defense actually has just missed 8.7% of their tackles this season, the lowest in the NFL, and have allowed 471 extra yards off missed tackle, 5th fewest. Got to wrap up. Got to, through the ball. Yeah, we're not getting the turnovers created, but we're playing clean football. You're tackling them. You're getting them down. You're forcing them into the third, all of that. And just something that I think that this team really does have is just we need to get on it. They have one more year. The Packers have blitzed opposing quarterbacks at the 3rd lowest rate, 21.9% this season, but the defense has generated the 9th highest pressure rate when sending 4 or fewer pass rushers at 34%. 34% at 4 or fewer. That's basically what I play in college football. Give me 3 hot, 3 down, and throw some coverage, and you're lurking, right? Because if they're going to be dropping back, which we saw earlier, they're passing for over 60%, right? They're not running as much. They lost their starting back. They got R.J. Harvey, but he was a receiver back at UCF before he got changed to a running back. So they're more of a get the ball out of your Bo's hands and move it kind of way. Let's just clamp down on it. If you can get pressure with 3 or 4, huge. Play coverage. Keep everything in front of you.
Yep, absolutely. And this game, Tim, Buffalo now leads 35-31, man. This is wild.
Crazy.
And it looks like they've got the football. It's a 3rd and 3. They are well within New England's territory. If they get this first down here, it's pretty much over. I'll give you guys the call, and then we'll wrap up. From New England's 12-yard line, little nasty split. Looks like a 22 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
They just canned at the line. Here
Lost
comes
out.
Josh Allen. Give it to the fullback for a first down. There's your ball game.
Ball game.
Buffalo, that is wild, Tim. They were up by, 20 points or something crazy, man? Is that what it was earlier?
I think so. I think it was
1-0.
Yeah, it was a 3-score game
Yeah.
at one point. Yeah.
So just when you think you got this league figured out, New England is 11-2, right? They go up by 3 scores, and then Buffalo comes roaring back, and they're going to pick up their 10th win of the season. So
Scared money don't make money.
that's right. Guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. We went a few minutes over. We need a few minutes to kind of get set for the game, get everything ready to roll. You guys, the post-game show link is already up. Before you hop out of here, do me a big favor. Spin those laces. Hit that like button. Enjoy the show. And everybody hop over to the post-game show link that's already created on the YouTube channel. And you guys can use that as a game day chat. I'll be hanging out in there as well. Just everybody, as always, just keep it respectable in there. All right. Everybody take care of one another. We're a football family here. Don't get in there trolling each other and all that good stuff. We try to control that on this particular program. So, Tim, Emilio, appreciate y'all jumping in here, man.
Absolutely.
Go Pack, go, baby. Let's get that dub today.
Come on now.
Lincoln, wake up, Lincoln. We're getting the dub today.
I keep forgetting he's on the screen. He just I almost want to get him howling just everybody would have to mute their monitor though because it's so loud. I can get him howling like a bunch of wolves. It's hilarious, man. His sister's over here on the couch. Nitschke is on the top of the couch asleep, and my brother's dog's downstairs in front of the fire. Man, we're sitting.
They know once 420 gets rolling around, fired up the TV, Clay. It's over, man. Kickoff's coming.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the post-game show. It'll be going live immediately following the game there. So everybody enjoy the game. We'll see y'all over there. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. That's Tim. That's Emilio. Go Pack, go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.